Breaking news. From wings to widgets, the amazing journey of recycled jets. The morning sun rises over a massive industrial yard. Reporters gather at the fence, microphones in hand. Cameras zoom in as a faded jumbo jet taxis slowly toward a row of towering blue warehouses. This is not the end for this plane. It's only the beginning of a new story. From wings to widgets, the amazing journey of recycled jets flashes across the news ticker. The world is watching. Today, many people are surprised to learn that almost every part of a retired airplane can be recycled. In fact, each year, more than 600 airplanes are taken apart and reborn as new products. What happens behind these tall walls? What stories do the old aircraft have to tell? And how do these flying giants become raw materials for tomorrow's world? This story is about more than just machines and metal. It's about people, skilled workers, careful engineers, and dedicated teams who turn old planes into valuable resources. Let's step inside and see the action for ourselves. Cracking open the doors to this recycling factory is like stepping into a world where every bolt and rivet gets a second chance. Let's follow the journey of a retired aircraft, from its final landing to its surprising next life. Welcome to the world's largest airplane recycling factory. Imagine an area bigger than 15 football fields, filled with rows of aircraft in various stages of being picked apart. The air is alive with the sound of machines, the clang of metal, and the voices of hundreds of workers. This is one of the largest airplane recycling factories in the world. Inside, giant cranes weave between airplane skeletons. Conveyor belts stretch for hundreds of meters, carrying everything from wings to wires. The place smells of oil, metal, and possibility. Teams move with purpose, each person trained for a specific task, from cutting apart fuselages to carefully removing valuable electronics. This factory is not a graveyard, it's a hive of activity. Every hour, pieces of aircraft are pulled off, sorted, and sent off to new futures. The process is fast, but it's never careless. Safety and precision are the order of the day. Each worker knows exactly what to do and when to do it. At first glance, it might look chaotic, but there's a master plan at work. The goal is simple. Recover as much as possible, waste as little as possible, and give every part a purpose. The arrival. Old giants roll in. The journey begins long before the planes ever reach the factory gates. Retired aircraft come from airlines all over the world. Sometimes they are flown in on their last mission. Sometimes they arrive by truck, their wings and tails carefully removed for transport. Seeing an old jet roll into the yard is an emotional moment. These planes have carried millions of passengers, crossed oceans, and braved storms. Now their engines are silent, but their journey isn't over. As soon as the plane arrives, inspectors in bright vests swarm around it, checking for fuel, oils, and dangerous materials. Before any work begins, safety comes first. Workers drain all fluids, remove batteries, and check for anything that could harm people or the environment. Every step is logged and double-checked, with strict rules to protect both workers and the planet. Once the plane is cleared, teams carefully tow it into the heart of the factory. Here, the old giant will be taken apart piece by piece, and each part will get a close look from skilled eyes. The breakdown, disassembly, in action. Now the real work begins. Teams of mechanics and engineers move in with tools, lifts, and cutting machines. They start by removing the largest and most valuable parts: engines, landing gear, and avionics. These parts demand careful handling. They are heavy, expensive, and often reusable. The plane's skin is peeled away, revealing a hidden world of wires, pipes, and frames. Workers in protective gear use saws and torches to cut sections free. It's loud, hot, and dangerous work. Team leaders check every step, following a detailed map of the plane's structure. Some workers focus on stripping out the miles of wiring that run through the fuselage. Others remove seats, cargo panels, and interior fittings. Each item is tagged, sorted, and sent to the next stage. Nothing escapes the careful eyes of the dismantling crew. By the end of this stage, what remains is just a metal skeleton. But even the bare frame has a future. Every single piece will be weighed, tested, and sorted for recycling or reuse. With the plane taken apart, a new challenge begins. Sorting the hundreds of parts into categories. Workers move quickly, but nothing is rushed. Seats are lined up and checked for condition. Some are nearly new and can be refurbished for another airline or sold to collectors. Electronics, like cockpit instruments, screens, and black boxes, are handled with special care. Some devices are valuable for airlines needing spare parts. Others are too old and head to specialist recyclers for precious metals like gold, silver, and copper. Smaller items like cabin lights, tray tables, and even windows are boxed up. Some are sold to aviation fans or designers. Others go to companies that specialize in making old airplane parts into furniture or art. Every part is logged in a giant database. This ensures nothing is lost and everything is traced from the moment it leaves the plane to its next life. Once the valuable parts are removed, the focus turns to the huge amounts of metal and plastic left behind. The plane's aluminum skin is stripped off, cut into sheets, and sorted by type. Aluminum is highly prized. It's light, strong, and easy to melt down for reuse. Giant shredders and crushers turn the leftover frame into manageable pieces. These are loaded onto trucks and sent to metal foundries. There, the metal is melted and purified. Some of it returns to the aircraft industry as new parts. Some becomes soda cans, car parts, or even bicycles. Plastics from the cabin, like overhead bins and window frames, are sorted and shredded. These plastics are cleaned and processed into pellets, ready to become new products. Recycled airplane plastics have ended up in everything from skateboards to park benches. Even the scraps that seem worthless are handled with care. The goal is to send as little as possible to landfills, and to prove that the sky really is the limit for recycling. Some airplane parts are too valuable or too well made to throw away. Engines, landing gear, and avionics often get a second chance. After careful testing, these parts are cleaned, repaired, and certified for use in other planes. Specialists carefully inspect each part for cracks, wear, or damage. If something passes all tests, it might be shipped off to an airline in need of a replacement part. Sometimes, it saves a company millions of dollars compared to buying new. There's also a market for smaller parts. Oxygen masks, cabin seats, and even reading lights find new homes. Some go to smaller airlines. Others are bought by collectors or museums. Aviation fans love to own a piece of flying history. This reuse is good for the environment and for business. It keeps valuable resources in play and makes flying more sustainable for everyone. Perhaps the most fascinating part of airplane recycling is what happens next. Some recycled parts end up in places you'd never expect. The metal from a wing might become part of a sports car. The plastic from a window could turn into a designer chair. Artists and designers buy old airplane parts to make unique furniture, sculptures, and even homes. In some cities, you can find coffee tables made from jet engines or walls decorated with airplane windows. Old seats become movie theater chairs, and overhead bins are transformed into storage for offices and bedrooms. Schools and museums sometimes use recycled parts for teaching and exhibits. A cockpit simulator made from a real plane helps students learn about aviation. Even playgrounds have swings and slides built from airplane materials. Recycling gives new life not just to materials, but to the dreams tied to these flying machines. The sky is truly the beginning, not the end. As the sun sets behind the recycling factory, the work continues. Every day, new planes arrive, and old parts find new homes. The workers are tired, but proud. They know their efforts keep dangerous waste out of landfills and reduce the need for new mining and manufacturing. By recycling millions of aircraft parts, these factories help save energy and cut pollution. Every ton of aluminum reused means less greenhouse gas in our atmosphere. Every refurbished part keeps valuable resources in the sky and on the ground. Recycling is a story of hope, of using what we have, valuing what we build, and respecting our planet. As more airlines and companies join the effort, the future of flight looks cleaner and brighter. So, next time you see a plane in the sky, remember, its journey may continue long after its last flight, thanks to the skill, care, and imagination of the people inside the world's giant recycling factories.